And hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, all you cool cats and kittens, as Carol Baskin likes to say, even though we all know she did it. Thank you for showing up. I figured I would go live and talk about the situation rather than make a video on it. I had actually hoped to do a live stream more on the insanity of the keyboard warriors over the weekend that were claiming orcs are racist. I would have rather talked about that, and maybe we can touch on that subject a little bit later on in the live stream. But then the leaks happened with Last of Us Part 2, and while it's kind of understandable that Sony and Naughty Dog would try to, I don't want to say suppress, but take down the sites that were showing the leaks if you don't want anything spoiled for your customers, then they decided to make it worse for themselves and go after channels that were just talking about the situation and copy striking channels, abusing that law and silencing critics and basically censoring free speech. I don't know. Like I figure basically that this business model has not worked in the past, and yet for some reason these companies that are run predominantly by, or at least with the mentality of the social justice warrior crowd, cannot seem to figure that out. And I'm joined tonight. He asked me if I was doing a live stream. I said sure. He asked if he could be on. I said sure. And welcome everybody's favorite Viking, Steve Kenobi, who's going to chime in on this situation.
I was bored tonight, so I was
Pretty
asking if someone could have me on, and here I am. Laura put me on out of charity.
I don't know. We all like you. He acts humble and everything like that, but he makes the best top 5, top 10, whatever number videos, because he basically just gives the list and doesn't go into the reasoning behind it, which most people don't care about anyway. So
Yeah, I try not to over-explain things.
which is what we're thankful for, because most times they go into explanations that really don't need to go into, quite frankly, in my opinion. But anyway, check out his channel.
No, just go sub to Sporking News podcast or Mr. Sarcastic or something. They have far better content than I do, and they take it seriously.
But yeah, so basically, like I said, I figured rather than do a video on this, I would give my thoughts on this whole situation. And I just, quite frankly, I've never really been into these types necessarily of games. I've always preferred first person, more fantasy type games. But I did. It's a pre-owned copy, but I saw Darth Barbie playing this because I was asked to mod one of her streams, so I figured, oh well, sorry, the light is shining on it. I bought my own copy, used, and I figured I'd play it because I had, like I said, have not really any interest in playing games like this. I prefer fantasy games, but that does not mean that I wouldn't give it a chance. And then I saw the leaks for Last of Us Part 2. So basically, it makes this almost moot. The characters in here that you grow to love and connect with and everything like that is basically in the second one. If the leaks are true, and basically seems like they've been confirmed to be so, that it doesn't matter because now you have to like a new character that they are inserting into the new game that's supposed to be a woman, but you can't have a woman look like a woman because that's playing into the male sexual fantasy. And this is my thoughts on this, and then I figure, well, you can give your thoughts on this, Stig. But in a way, they are, by trying to pander to, or at least pander to the woke crowd by making the women less feminine and less male gazy, they are excluding women who consider themselves bisexual and lesbian who might want to look at an attractive woman also. I don't know if I'm just the only one kind of seeing that hypocrisy at this point.
No, you're right. And to address the first thing you said, if you're new to the series, right, and you realize, hey, the story and the characters are getting messed up in the second part, you just don't want to do the first part, right? It's
Yeah.
like starting to read a trilogy and someone has told you that, hey, yeah, they completely destroy the whole thing in book two.
Hmm.
Then what's the point in book one, right?
Pretty
But
much.
yeah, and when it comes to women looking like women and all that, a lot of games have like 50 plus hours playtime. If you're playing Skyrim or something else, it's probably hundreds of hours, right?
Hmm.
And I don't think it's wrong for someone to want to look at a character for that long and have that character be kind of appealing or something like that, you know, because
Hmm.
you're gonna look at the character for a long while.
Yeah.
So I don't see anything wrong with someone wanting to have an attractive looking character, you know.
Hmm.
As for the catering to the woke crowd, I think it's a case of echo chambers
Hmm.
because I think 14% of the United States use Twitter, something like that. It's not that much,
Hmm.
and and then you have a split because of politics, which is probably about 50-50.
Give or take.
So
Yeah.
so then you're down to 7%,
Hmm.
and then you can probably remove 3 or 4% because of people not being gamers,
Hmm.
and then another percentage because of not everyone has a PlayStation. Some are PC gamers or Xbox or even Nintendo gamers, and then you have the people that are ultra woke. So it's a
Hmm.
very small percentage of your customers that you're catering to.
Hmm. Pretty much.
So it's if you do simple maths on it, it's puzzling, but that little percentage is the loudest one in echo chambers like that. So
Hmm.
that's the kind of people they hear from the most, right?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
you know,
Pretty much.
well, most of them don't even buy games, to be honest. They
Hmm.
just want games to be the way they want, but they don't even play them.
Hmm. Yeah. Pretty much. That is what these people do, and I can only speak from personal experience. I hate like speaking for other people. I basically, I hate that because mainly because I don't like it when people speak for me. Unless someone asks me, like a person or person asks me to speak for them or on some sort of behalf, I don't because I can't know the innate thoughts or and motivations for people. I don't know the like their personalities or anything like that. So me, I'm looking at this from my own personal experience, and they're basically saying that one, like there are two things, and Riot Kitty on Lethal Stream this morning pointed this out, which is very ironic and very stupid. That to build up women's self-esteem with these characters, making them less feminine and they look more like men. So basically, to build up a woman's self-esteem, they're making the characters look like men. But I thought to these third and fourth wave feminists, women were better.
Yeah, and they always seem to make the men less competent rather than making the women competent.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever women do something that's competent in those games or movies or whatever it is, uh, it looks kind of stupid because they're doing obvious things and the guys around them can't figure
Mm-hmm.
out how to solve simple problems, right? Because they've been dumbed down to
Yeah.
make the woman look better, which is bad writing.
Mm-hmm.
It really hasn't anything to do with gender because the same thing could be done to a male character, having a male
Mm-hmm.
character be, you know, seemingly smart because everyone around them is extra dumb that day.
Okay.
So
Oh yeah. I
it
know.
all
I've
comes down
really.
to bad writing.
Mhm. Well, I realized, sorry, I forgot to say hello to the chat. I'm sorry, it started going into my thoughts on this whole Naughty Dog Sony situation. I want to bring up and say hello to the people who showed up. Orange Hat reviews, yes, lawsuits from lawyers. I will also bring up the fact that not saying I will do this in any way, but my mom is an attorney, and she's known the family who like she works for. Like my dad's known the sons took over the father's law firm, so my dad has known the sons his entire life. My mom works for the sons in this law firm as an attorney, so essentially I have a law firm behind me. So I'm just saying if they Naughty Dog tries anything, they're going to find out what I have in store for them. Pretty much. I don't think they will because I don't think that one, if they were to silence a woman, it's not going to look good for them, and two, it's going to draw more attention to them than they want. Neff Champion, hello, thank you for showing up. Apollo Patriot, I thank you. I can always count on you. And Hail Blue Women, yes, Hail Blue Twi'lek Women. Black Samurai, thank you for showing up. And Hail Kratos, yes, I haven't played that game. I got it as part of the PS4 bundle, but I have not played God of War. Sorry, chat jumped on me a bit. Subhuman84, thank you for showing up. Trey Courtney, hail. And yes, I did see your meme, Apollo Patriot. That was a good meme in the Discord chat. Parrothead, hail Steeg. The Revenite, thank you for showing up. I want to scream. I love the first game. Yes, so that's what like a lot of people are criticizing. That's what like boggles my mind is that all that I've seen people criticizing this game. Yeah, like granted there are some that are criticizing the look of the characters, but a lot of the criticism I'm seeing is what I and like you covered at the beginning, and that is what's the point of playing the first game if you know that like there's no point in being attached to any of the characters that you're supposed to get attached to and love, only to find out that hey, like don't like these characters too much because guess what? You have to love another character, and you have to love this character because we say you're supposed to love this character, not good characters.
It's very hard to love a character that kills the one you loved before, right?
Yeah. Keg42, thank you for showing up. Raging Rhino, hail, thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. Hold on, sorry. Catching up with the chat. Happy Dinosaur 8000. Happy day all. Thank you so much. Raging Rhino. So yes, Ryan Kinnell. I am so sorry. I don't know if you were watching his live stream today, but he got anybody who's in the chat and didn't see his live stream this afternoon, he got another copyright strike on a video for pick a reason. there's no legitimate reason because it's Naughty Dog's silencing criticism of their handling of this game, and then handling of their employees, and then handling of this marketing debacle because of the leaks. And now they're trying to do damage control, and it's backfiring on them royally, very much royally. Stone Cold Jeremy, thank you. The Fandom Menace, I didn't know math was a prerequisite for the stream. Okay. And that's it. I caught up with the chat. So thank you all for showing up. I appreciate it very much. Yes, did you I could try to find one of the images, but have you seen the image for Abby?
The image for Abby?
Yes, that's the character. That's supposed to be a woman.
Oh yeah, I saw that one. Looked like the GameStop ma'am having gotten a haircut.
Yeah, like the jokes have been going around. It looks like the GameStop ma'am, Jean-Claude Van Mam. They're calling it
the Ma'am DeLorean.
The Macho Ma'am, yeah, pretty much. So that's the character that apparently I'm not going to go into the leaks, but that's the character that apparently that you're supposed to like.
Okay.
You're supposed to like this character. I'm not going to go into why because again that goes into leaks. I'm not going to cover the leaks in this video. To promote my most recent video that's on my channel, I did put a thread link in the description, so click on it at your own discretion if you don't care about spoilers or anything like that.
Well, the character can still be excellently written. but it's an uphill battle when you have that character kill
Mhm,
a character they've been highly invested in for
mhm.
years. People have replayed that game to death,
Yes.
and they love the character, and then the character gets killed, and
Mhm,
they're supposed to like the person who did it.
mhm,
That's an uphill battle, big time.
mhm. Sister Harrow, thank you for showing up, listening while working. And I have this sharing my screen. I'm not going to play this speech. This is the speech that Ryan showed in his part of his live stream where Neil, um, his name is Truckman, but we're calling him Neil Cuckman because that's how he's acting pretty much right now. And he's talking about working with Anita Sarkeesian on this game, on at least Last of Us Part 2 and so forth, and how attractive female characters are bad because he's trying to look through the world at the world through his daughter's eyes and who she might be considering as like a role model. And he brought up these images of these rather sexy video game characters. But rational people are not, don't care as long as they're good characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, I can only speak for myself, like I said, and pretty much, I used to play Soul Calibur. Like this was years ago. I've yet to actually get off my butt and download or get Soul Calibur 6. But when I would play Soul Calibur, my go-to character was Ivy. Ivy Valentine is my pretty much, for want of a better way of saying it, Bay when it comes to Soul Calibur. I played other characters, but she was my go-to.
I actually have that game on the Xbox.
Yes, and
Never.
I've seen people play it, and I loved playing it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's the only anime style game I like.
mhm,
It's Soul Calibur, and I don't even like fighting games, but I
mhm.
like that one.
Yes. Yes, Aloy is hot. That's another game that I've been kind of grinding at. I did take a pause playing that game to play Witcher 3 because like I said, I'm more into like first person player games, but more like fantasy type games.
Yeah,
That's
no,
generally my preference, even though I did get The Last of Us to play, and I might at some point try playing it because I got it used. Um, I don't know. Have you played this game? Sorry, it's called Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
I've never played it because I think it's a PlayStation exclusive, right?
It might be. I was recommended this at a convention because apparently it's like a horror based game, fantasy game, where it's actually set in the Viking Age. According to this, you're a broken Celtic warrior embarking on a haunting vision quest into Viking hell to fight for the soul of her dead lover. The main character is a her, but
Huh.
I've seen some of the gameplay and it does they don't make like emphasis on the fact that it's a female that you're playing. It's
Exactly, and
a character.
I've seen so many Witcher fans, including myself, um, hoping for the next Witcher game to
Mhm.
have Siri as the main character.
Yes, and she's yeah. I said I'm playing Witcher 3. I'm not
Awesome.
far in, but I love Yennefer and I love Ciri.
Yeah,
I
even
love
Triss is
all
pretty
the
good.
characters. And I don't know if you were watching. Yeah, I don't know what he thinks. This guy thinks it's a Wonder Woman. She's hot. Probably like sexy woman bad, pretty much.
Yeah, and if you think about it, in an RPG or action based game, right?
Mhm.
And you have a female hero, that female should be fit because there's training behind whatever she does, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And
You,
that's
you can't have an overweight Laura Croft. She'll fall
no,
down the cliff.
no, and that's why. And like another like kind of segue into like another reason why I'm very much disliking the situation as it is because they are essentially either um flat out ignoring women like me who've been complaining about this stuff for years, who are giving the same complaints as men that we don't like what's going on. We just want good stories. We just want good characters. We want good gameplay, essentially, because we're talking about primarily gaming. Or I don't exist because the fact like you can't have a woman who doesn't toe the feminist line because women they like to say women like should be able to think for themselves, but when a woman does, she's ignored or she's accused of having internalized misogyny because God
Yeah,
forbid.
yeah. It's because you don't fit the narrative, and
No.
I know a lot of gamers, female and male and all that, and most of them I'd say agree with you 100%. And the people who run this narrative are the people who came up with the term female gamer.
Mm,
Uh, there's
yeah.
no such thing as female gamer because
No.
women play the same games as guys do, and I know
Hmm.
this for a fact. It's just gamer.
Yeah. This is like you bring up. That's another reason I hate it is the fact that they are basically balkanizing us based on our biological sexes, and I'm like, we're all gamers. You talk about wanting you talk about inclusion, but then you separate us based on sex, based on skin color, based on sexuality, even though we're supposed to be essentially fighting for the same cause,
Yeah,
and that is
and yeah, you're right.
that's like you're saying, I don't toe the narrative, I don't fall into the narrative, and then I say something, and they say, well, you're just sexist towards women, and I say I am a woman. Well, then they say, well, you're just racist towards minorities, and I'm like, well, I'm half Middle Eastern. I also have Native American in me. I have minority in me. Well, well, you're just homophobic. I have gay friends. I have trans friends. I don't discriminate against anyone. Then they
Yeah,
go into either you have internalized misogyny or you don't exist. And the fact that he's going with Anita Sarkeesian, who is basically poison.
yeah.
Who's gaming companies.
I've seen this happen before. Uh, Developers catering to Sarkeesian because she's trending and you're supposed to,
Mm-hmm.
but the projects always tank badly
Yeah.
because most gamers don't agree with her. They just want a fun game and
Mm-hmm.
all that. And the fact that female characters can't look sexy and blah blah blah. It's bullshit because look at the guys. Most male playable characters in video games look a hell of a lot better than I do,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not pissed about that because they don't sit on their ass eating potato chips and watching Netflix like I do.
And I brought this up because we're talking about Neil Druckmann and how he's like a champion of women. He brings in Anita Sarkeesian, who's apparently the voice of all women, even though I have yet to see a sane, rational woman agree with her. But like before Druckmann took over, Amy Hennig was part of Naughty Dog. She is the one. I haven't played the Uncharted games. I've heard people talk about how good they are, at least like before this whole narrative started permeating into games and things like that, and like with Uncharted 4. And she is responsible for Naughty Dog's success. A woman is responsible for this company's success. So
Yeah,
this individual, sorry, I can't, when I close the image, I will give just Joe shared this image with me. He follows me on Twitter. So basically, it goes into sort of almost a timeline in a way of the events and how basically Naughty Dog was at the peak of its success. They get rid of a woman, keep the man, and now they're tanking, which is
yeah, and
ironic.
I've heard nothing but good things about Amy Hennig.
Yeah.
As far as writing goes,
Mhm.
she's arguably one of the probably the top 10 video games writers out there.
Yes, and according to this, she has a degree in English literature, which
Helps.
she became an animator and an artist to get her foot in the door. She worked on several games before becoming a game designer. She did the writing for games. She wrote the Legacy of Kain series. She directed and wrote Uncharted 1 through 3. That, like, if you were to talk to anyone who's played those games, most of them, like a vast majority of them, love the Uncharted games. Again, I have not played them, but I've heard good things about them. So, she helms those. All right. And then the game journalists often try to goad her into saying that the video industry is sexist, but she has always pushed back against that. Bravo to her. She pushed back against it. She said it was usually men who helped her and gave her opportunities. So yes, God forbid she praised men helping her. God forbid she do that.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be teamwork between men and women.
Yes, but but to these keyboard warriors, these social justice warriors, these third and fourth wave feminists who have to be triggered and offended by the littlest thing can't seem to grasp that. They think like women are better, but then yet they say women are better than men, but at the same time they try to make their women more like men, look more like men. So I was like, what are we? Are we better than men or what?
Well,
And it just doesn't
it, it
work. It doesn't work.
it actually doesn't make sense because the same people are saying it's 97 genders anyway, and that gender is a fluid thing. So, uh,
Exactly. It's like it's like basically they change the narrative to fit the situation. So they don't. I have betting you, I bet you the vast majority of these people who are parroting this shit probably don't believe it.
you know,
They just
uh,
want the
The Last of Us falls under the adventure game genre, right? It's
Mhm.
story based, and
Huh.
you solve problems to get through a story. You
Yeah.
know who started that genre?
Women.
A woman named Roberta Williams.
Mhm.
She put Sierra on the map back in the 80s,
Mhm.
and she made the King's Quest series, and
Mhm.
Phantasmagoria later on. All of which were bestsellers. She was also one of the first to have a female protagonist in the game,
Mhm.
which is the game the most fans like the best. Is King's Quest 4, and
Mhm.
she was so good that she even got her name on the boxes. It said a Roberta Williams game.
Yeah. But
Everyone ignores that.
yeah, but did she attack the men who worked with her? I
No,
no.
uh, no, she was even married to the boss.
Yeah. So to continue on this sort of timeline of events with Naughty Dog, or at least with Amy Henning and Druckmann, she basically said that the claims against the industry were greatly exaggerated, which they are. They are greatly exaggerated because they ignore the fact that there are women who are gamers. They're not female gamers; they are just gamers, and we've
Exactly.
been around for years. I mean, I can't even remember like the first time I picked up a controller or played a PC game. That's how long it's been.
I've
So,
I've I have a little sister,
mhm,
and she she beat the first Wolfenstein game back in the day. She loves it, and she loves
mhm,
the strategy games, and she's all over the place. But she plays the same games that my male friends play,
mhm,
and she just loves it.
mhm.
And yeah, no such thing as
Yeah.
games made for women or whatever.
No. They're just
Bullshit.
games. They're just games. So insiders claim she was basically forced out because Druckmann didn't like her. So the guy who's claiming to be a champion of women and adding diversity and representation to the games didn't like a woman. So, and like basically claiming that she was forced out because he didn't like her. So he takes over and immediately starts trying to make Naughty Dog's writing more progressive. He basically, in an interview that Ryan played, or at least something, or at least I can't remember if it was like a article or an interview, but it's like he basically said that he admits that he had an agenda from the beginning. He had an agenda from the beginning. So what does he do? He makes Ellie a lesbian with a black girlfriend in the Last of Us downloadable content, which I do have because that was part of the bundle that came with the PS4 I bought last year. It's The Last of Us Left Behind. It's a very quick game, very quick, and I really didn't care that that was a kind of like a revelation in the game that she's um I mean, like, they don't exactly flat out say that she's a lesbian, but she kisses her best friend, so you have to assume that she's at least attracted to her, so she could be bisexual for all I cared at that point. It
Yeah,
didn't matter.
if they hadn't made her straight or something in the first game, then it's absolutely not a biggie.
No, it's not. It wasn't a big deal. I didn't know anything about the Last of Us or anything like that, so I just played the downloadable content that came with the PS4 because I thought, what the hell? Let's see how this is, and like if I like it, I'll see how the actual main game is. It's pretty quick. You play as Ellie because Joel, the father figure in the situation, is injured. So the goal of this downloadable content is you're in this mall and you have to find medical supplies and things like that to help him. But you have like these zombies going around, different types of zombies, infected, as well as humans that are, I don't want to say evil, but like they're essentially the bad guys. That's it.
Hmm.
No, like you'd be hard pressed, other than the kiss she has with her best friend, to see an agenda in that. But the fact that you're finding out now that he started it, that's like part of the agenda, it kind of taints it in a way if you think about it.
Yeah,
Because it,
I guess if they didn't make a big deal out of it themselves,
yeah,
then there's probably not that much of an agenda.
mm-hmm,
If it's being hailed as, oh yeah, we finally have LGBTQ content in The Last of Us or something, then it would have been different.
yeah. And then apparently he takes over, as I said. He throws out Amy's entire Uncharted 4 script, even though it was supposedly almost done. So basically, it's kind of like Ryan Johnson coming in and setting fire to the middle movie in the Disney Star Wars trilogy, and saying, "I'm
Yeah,
going to go my own way," which is what Druckmann did. And
didn't
so,
didn't
mhm.
her her Star Wars game get thrown out when it was almost done too?
I I'd have to look that up because, like I said, I wasn't really following all this news.
Yeah,
So,
I think she was writing it and it was almost
mhm.
done. And they got,
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be based on Uncharted, from what I remember. Or at
yeah, it
least
was
like the
gonna be
premise,
Boba Fett and Darth Talon, I think.
something like that, where you're playing. It's like a game like with an Uncharted feel, but it's set in Star Wars, and
Yeah.
you're playing like a bounty hunter or something like that. And I would have been interested in that game,
Oh yeah.
but no more. No more. It's done because like they forced her out. They forced a woman out to keep a man who's now single-handedly tanking in the company.
Oh, well, that's karma for you.
And okay, so she gets pushed out, and then he makes the studio go into crunch mode, basically, where you overwork the employees to get this game done because he wanted the changes to be made. So, at the expense of their employees' well-being, that's essentially like crunch mode. You get them to get it done fast. The game gets delayed multiple times because it goes through a complete rewrite anyway. Again, results in a mediocre game with a terrible story. Because from what I've read about Uncharted 4, apparently they've cucked the main character. They apparently in the epilogue for the previous game, he has a son. They changed it to a daughter for reasons. And there's a female character in there. I don't know what I can't remember what her name is, but apparently there is a part in the game where she mercilessly beats the shit out of you, beats Drake, I think that's his name, Drake up, and you can't do anything. You
Hmm.
can't do anything. You can't defend yourself. You basically take a beating. So you're allowing this woman to beat a man. But that's
Yeah.
progressive because I guess apparently it's for one word a warped form of poetic justice for these feminists, even though even though no one would be okay with it being the reverse.
Yeah, I
No
mean,
one.
that's ironic though. It's a survival game, and they don't let you defend yourself to
No.
survive.
Yes, Bruno Malto is saying yes. The Star Wars game, it was canceled. So yeah, so that's the game that yeah, that I'd heard about. That, which is unfortunate. I would have been willing to play that. Like I said, it's not my style, like preference of first-person games. But it would have been set in Star Wars. It would have been a different character that you would play other than a Jedi or a Sith. So I'd be like, go for it. I would have been willing to plunk down money for it. And if this whole situation hadn't happened, if not just the leaks, but Naughty Dog is handling abusing copyright strike laws, everything like that. If they hadn't done that, I probably at some point would have gotten Last of Us Part 2. I would have waited for it to be like a used copy, but I would have probably gotten it at some point. I wouldn't spend $60 on it, and people are saying they're not buying it. Now that everything's come out, like not just the gameplay, but the villains, the character, and the fact, like we've said, that uh, the characters that you've grown to become attached to in the first game, well, guess what?
Yeah.
They go, and you gotta like this new character that takes them out, apparently.
Yeah, that's the problem though, because they want you to like the character that kills them.
Mm-hmm.
So if it was someone else, their friend or something that makes it out alive, it would have been way different.
Mm-hmm. And so let's see. Druckmann also pushed to remove the Fat Nate costume because it was offensive. Someone in the chat, if you've played the games, I don't know. I mean, I'm just knowing
Who's
what Neil Druckmann is like.
who's Fat Nate?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know who Fat Nate is, what the costume is, but apparently it was offensive, and most likely it wasn't offensive. Most likely it wasn't offensive or anything like that. Mega Jetty, thank you for showing up. Good evening to you. Oh God, this whole situation is it's like kind of like with what Lucasfilm and Disney did with Star Wars. Most people probably, and I say would have maybe given the third movie a chance. Maybe it's kind of like the people with this situation with Last of Us and Naughty Dog might have given Last of Us 2 a chance, even with the revelations that the rumors were kind of confirmed to be true. Probably would have bought the game because the gameplay looked decent and they liked the first game. Now you have not only have the leaks, but now you have the company pushing the release date back and copywriting YouTubers like this. Good, perfect timing, basically.
What did I do? Everybody hates me.
I don't know. I'm saying we're talking like in the kind of like the situation with Naughty Dog and how they're abusing copyright laws.
If you get a copyright strike after Ryan popped on, I'm gonna laugh.
Oh God.
Well, I haven't had a good track record so far. Of the 9 or so people, the 9 or so videos that I've heard of that are claimed, 2 of them are on my channel. One of them is on Gaming with Geeks that I did, and another was a stream on Geeks and Gamers that I was a part of. So not looking good.
Yeah,
for me.
You're absolutely the problem.
I think I may be.
Apparently, but I was just going briefly over kind of like this this image that was shared on one of my posts, and this whole situation with Cuckman and how he pushed Amy Hennig out of Naughty Dog simply because, according to this, he didn't like her, and now he's single-handedly tanking the company that was seeing success under a woman, which is ironic if you think about it. Very ironic.
True. That is true.
And this is a man who's claiming to be a champion of women, adding diversity and representation to the games because he wanted to see according to that speech you showed on a live stream, because I was watching a bit of it, that he wanted to see the world through his daughter's eyes, and sexy woman bad, apparently.
Yeah, heaven forbid that, he have a role model for his daughter that, is intelligent, is a badass, and maybe actually looks like somebody you'd want to, well, can I say things on your channel, Mara?
Go ahead.
It actually looks like someone you'd want to fuck. Heaven forbid you have a protagonist that is actually attractive.
Yeah, and I was saying earlier with Stig that by them focusing their ire on straight white men, pretty much making women less male gazy, they are excluding bisexual women and lesbians who might want to have an attractive woman to look at. So you're making these women look like men, which is the very gender they are not attracted to in the first place.
Yeah, it's true. To be honest, after the first hour, you don't really look at the main character that much anyway, because you're all into the gameplay.
Yeah, or raging at the game when you get wrecked because of your own dumbass, which is what I've been doing in Witcher 3. Pretty much.
I told you I could give you advice.
I know. I'm trying to finish up. The semester will be over next week, and then I can focus on this game.
Mara's been talking about her school being over for freaking ever, but it never seems to come. It's always right around the corner.
It's the longest week ever.
She's having a lot of detention, I think.
Oh, well, it's the price you pay when you're going to be a teacher and you have classes where you have to come up with a lesson plan for all 3 of them.
Well, Mara, you're doing well. Being a teacher is a damn important job.
So thank you. and my goal is to have people who don't turn out like Neil Cuckman in the future. That's my goal. If I can change one or more in each class, then I will have done my job pretty much. That's what I'm looking at. But now another thing I wanted to share real fast is I went on Neil Cuckman's Instagram. And I took some screen caps of photos that he tagged, and I found some of them kind of, one, ironic, and two, the one I'm going to show indicative of the mentality now under Naughty Dog. So I'm going to go share my screen to share this. All right. So this was a photo that was tagged regarding The Last of Us Part 2. Any homophobia, negativity, spoilers, or bashing towards Naughty Dog and or The Last of Us Part 2 will be deleted and blocked. This account is a safe space for The Last of Us and everyone's opinions that are kind and don't disrespect the writers or anyone else who works with the Naughty Dog. So basically, they're creating a safe space around themselves because God forbid, they're the what they've been doing is criticized by silencing.
They need to make damn sure that the homophobia is indeed homophobia, not criticism of the writing. Those are two different things.
Well, yeah, those are two different things, but most of the time, they blur those lines intentionally to silence dissenting opinions, and then
conveniently.
Yeah, conveniently, yes. So they claim to be champions of free speech, but then they silence that free speech by seeing what they're doing with copywriting channels, putting copyright strikes on channels that weren't breaking any copyright laws to begin with.
Well,
and I know you didn't show any clips, Ryan. I know your video didn't show any clips.
I didn't show any clips. I did show a couple screenshots of things that are like way out there that everyone has seen. Everyone has seen the screenshots, and then I talked about the plot. Jeremy didn't do anything when we were on the channel. He didn't show any clips. We didn't talk any specifics about the plot. He was just bashing it, and they took his stream down. And the thing is, they are very much about censoring the opinions of wrongthink. Now, whether it be in Neil Cuckman's Twitter responses, I noticed his Twitter response, he decided to hide a lot of the responses in there when he made a post about this. Virtually all of the Last of Us trailers and things like that, any of the gameplay that's on PlayStation's official channel on YouTube, the comments have been turned off. I talked about the story a couple times about the focus group that Neil Druckmann ran back in 2016, where they had a bunch of focus testers who were deemed to be sexist because they didn't like the way that they were portraying a couple of the females in this game. So they, instead of listening to the focus group, like, you know, what a focus group is there for, they decided to kick them out and tell them to leave.
Yeah, because like I was telling Steve, like apparently one of the females, basically mercilessly beats the shit out of Drake character, and you can't fight back.
Yeah, so Nadine is a character in that who they make out to be some badass, and she beats the shit out of you, and you can't like fight. Like it's just like a cutscene that's like kind of going back and moving around. You can't do anything. She's just beating the shit out of you. So a lot of people didn't like that.
No, but like, and I'm just saying, just if it were the reverse, like it would be.
Then it'd be a good game.
It would be excoriated, but it's okay for a woman to beat on a man, apparently.
Well,
so it's this warped sense of poetic justice with feminists who and other the like of Neil Cuckman who are inserting their agenda over story. So to them, a strong woman is a woman who beats up on a man, when most women are looking at it going, "You're just a bitch."
Yeah, you know, the opposite did happen. What was it, last year or something? Some guy was streaming Red Dead Redemption 2, and he punched a women's rights activist in the game.
Yes,
and his whole channel got taken down because of it. And you know, it's not his fault that you can do that in the game. You know.
You're right. It was hilarious. And then so he created an entire channel devoted to killing this woman in different ways. So he'd like reload the game back up, and he'd like lasso her and drag her and then let the crocodiles eat her. He just like found a bunch of different ways to kill her. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
You should try it, Mara.
I will.
She is annoying. She's annoying. All she does is sit there and yell about how she deserves the right to vote.
Yeah.
And you just go up and smack her in the face.
Which she should get. She should get the right to vote, but be civil about it. But so this Neil Fuckman, was it?
I'll go with that.
He's in full damage control sensor mode now, trying to cover his tracks, basically.
Who knows who it actually is doing it? That's the thing. So the company that is claiming it is some third party associate of Naughty Dog. So is this some intern who's like upset because they're also like a ma'am who wants to beat the crap out of their favorite character, so they're upset about the reaction, so they're striking everyone. I don't know who is doing it.
Probably someone who got a phone call and was told to do it.
Maybe it seems strange how they're deciding to go about the things, because it's all manual strikes. None of it's automatic. It's all manual strikes. Like, why are they striking my video on my channel that got like 7,000 or like 3,000 views, vice a video on a channel that's just a little bit bigger than mine and has 200,000? Doesn't make any sense. No, unless they didn't like my tone.
I don't know. Maybe that's why I said, let's see on my tweet. Let's see if they take down a woman's live stream, because this company is supposed to be the champion of women in this game, because now we have strong female representation in that Abby character that now we're supposed to like, and screw over the characters that we've people who've played the first game have grown to love. And in a way, like you said, like not exactly alter Ellie's character, but make her sexuality the focus of the game. Not necessarily because she herself is a good character. And I don't know. Like I was telling Stieg that I played the downloadable content, the Left Behind, that came with the PS4 for the Last of Us.
The lesbian one?
Yeah. Which, like, not knowing any details before I played that, because it was a very quick game, it didn't make any difference to me. Like, that she kissed her best friend. That didn't make any difference to me. But now they're emphasizing that to the point where I'm like, that's not her character. That's not her character, or anything like that. And you're taking away what should be a good character and focusing more on, you have to like her because she's gay. No,
which is so silly, because BioWare has had gay and bisexual characters in their games for decades, but they've done it well. It was no big deal. The characters were written superbly, and no outcry. So clearly, gamers aren't homophobic. It's just they're phobic towards bad writing.
Might get some Australian representation in this
roast.
Ooh,
yes. I need to find out if if I can have some Australian representation on my stream tonight on Twitch. That's what I want to know. So I'd like to just roast Neil Cuckman for a while playing Warzone with Lethal. That's kind of what I want to find out. Yeah, I think that'll be fun. I just think that, so one of the videos again that I found from 2013 about Neil Druckmann talking was him talking about how he had a secret agenda with The Last of Us, which was to create a female protagonist that was not sexualized. But then the sequel, literally the entire thing's about her sexuality. From the moments they chose to use in, like, when they did gameplay reveals, when they had the big lesbian kiss in there, like, everything about it is sexual in nature. Now, you can't, I guess you could say you can talk about someone's sexuality without sexualizing them, but there's literal sex scenes in this that were leaked. So it doesn't make any sense.
No. And I was taking screen caps of Neil Cuckman's Instagram today. The last post I had up on the screen. So this is, I grabbed this screen grab from his Instagram, and he tagged this photo, or this on his Instagram. So this person writes, I think this game will be for a specific group. Yes, say it louder. I believe that's why all those staff that left, they didn't approve of it. But so basically they're calling the staff that was overworked and underpaid. The reason why they left is because of the fact that this game is geared towards a specific group. But this game is going to be amazing, and I think it will break boundaries, open up new ideas, etc. As if those ideas have not been around for how long, pretty much.
Ultima 6, a game from '89, to play as a lesbian or a gay guy.
If you see any leaks, don't believe them. Well, I mean, they've pretty much been confirmed now. And if you do analyze them before you talk shit, okay, fine. You might learn a few things. So my thing is having a strong, badass female lesbian that offensive to people? No.
Oh.
No, that's not the case. Actually, beating us over the head with her sexuality and telling us we have to like her because she's a lesbian is what is turning off people. They want to like the character for the character, not the fact that she fits into a certain demographic. So, and this is the people that they are catering to now at Naughty Dog. And again, that they got rid of Hennig for this guy. And I don't think they'll be hurting in the near future, like you said, Ryan, that like you think like the sales will be fine, essentially. People are going to be buying this game. That if they keep this up in the long run, they are definitely going to start hurting, I think.
Oh,
because now you're people who will be buying the games because they want good gameplay and good story, but now you're putting agenda over that good story.
Exactly. And why the heck is he behaving like he's inventing the wheel? Even in The Witcher 3, Ciri can be a lesbian. It's up to you. No outcry.
Mm-hmm. No, well, see, the thing is, we don't care. That's the thing. We don't care at all.
So did Neil Druckmann write this, or was he just tagged in this?
I don't think he was tagged. He tagged this on Instagram. So I don't know if exactly he was tagged in it or not. But he tagged it because they are talking about The Last of Us, and they are part of the echo chamber that he's catering to. The people that are claiming that because we're criticizing these leaks, we're criticizing this game because it has a badass female lesbian character in it. Even though that concept has been around for years.
Decades.
And yeah. So, and like basically saying, and Leaker wanted to say they were getting pushed for agenda. Pushing what agenda? This is real life. People go through tough things because others don't approve of their sexuality. It's sad. So basically, they're trying to insert current events, modern day politics into a game that's supposed to be post-apocalyptic.
Yeah. Makes you wonder how the world ended, right?
Exactly. Pretty much.
But this is such bullshit because back in, I think it was 82, a game called Ultima 2 was released. And you could make your character and you could pick gender, male, female, or other. It's right in the character generator. No outcry. People love that game. It was a bestseller. The guy got so rich he could afford to actually go to the space station. Became an astronaut. Paid his way to it. Yeah. And he had let you play a trans character back in 82 if you wished.
That's incredible, actually. I didn't even know about that.
I'll fill you in on it. We'll do a video.
Yeah, so go ahead.
I was going to say, Neff Champion, I'm sorry that you had to go through the brunt of this asshole's comments on my last video. So he basically came in and said, claiming that we were saying that the fact that they're gay and trans characters in the game is making it political, and we're like, no, that's not it. That's not it. And Neff Champion was one of the ones that this guy was targeting in the comments, basically saying that no, we're not saying that. We're saying that the gameplay itself, the fact that this is what happens in the game is what we're complaining about. And the guy didn't want to hear it. So
it's like I feel that eventually you learn who the people that you don't need to bother with are. You don't need to type all of that shit out there. You have better things to do with your time than to argue with some loser in the comments section all day.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Jeremy knows the games I'm talking about. Top men.
Yeah. But I commented like one time in that, well, essentially one time in that thread, and then I would have ignored that guy at that point. But then he started accusing me of deleting his comments
because they were getting like flagged or something because he was spamming.
Maybe, I don't know, but I said, he was like, everyone can see your comments, and I took screen captures of them. So it's like they're not getting deleted. And then he tried to give me a history lesson and everything. And I'm like, oh my god, you're not worth it. I responded like one time, because he said, like, please respond in a civilized manner. And I'm like, no, I'm not, you jackass. You accused me of deleting your comments. So I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, so YouTube, I don't know if you use the YouTube Studio, Mara, but there's a place where they'll show comments that are hid or like actually, so they potential spam, and then there's ones that they do think actually violate something. So if they're like incredibly like vulgar or something, or like threats of violence, might be held comments for review, and then others might be spam if people are like saying the same thing over and over and over again. Some of those go right to your spam, so you don't hide them. YouTube hides it for you, and you have to go and approve it.
Okay, well, I do use YouTube Studio, but I didn't go on that during it because I was handling something else last night. So I was like, you're not worth my time and effort right now, so I'm not bothering to go through all your comments, pretty much.
The problem is that a lot of people, especially on social media, if proven wrong, they don't have the I guess the balls to admit that they're wrong. I mean, it's not that hard to say, sorry, I was wrong, I didn't know that. You know?
No. And this is hilarious to the game.
TJ Swan's bitch ass is in here. What's up, TJ Swan? Good to see you. I'll go back on camera just to make sure you can see me. Go ahead and read the comment, Mara. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay, this is hilarious. Do the games suck? Yep, I'm not going to buy it. But the king of the dorks, Jeremy, thinking he is Jon Snow, willing to die on this hill, is glorious. So.
Yeah, that's all right. I don't think that Jeremy. I would be shocked. I would be shocked if they flagged the other videos he has up there. But I'm shocked that they flagged his live stream where he didn't talk about anything other than talk shit. And yeah, some people are actually willing to stand up for what they believe in. I know it's crazy. But
like it was manual, like they actually manually went in. So someone would have to have been watching the video and watching the live stream to do this. So it wasn't like a bot or anything, that's insane. The level of just censorship that you're going through by watching these videos, and the slightest criticism of your game, of your company, of your methods, now you're copyright striking them, so you're abusing the law and censoring what you claim to be championing, and that's free speech.
Isn't it illegal though? Because you're technically depriving people out of income because of false claims.
Well, I mean, it is in a way because they are like if an image is public, if anything is public, it's fair use. That's basically what the law is. So if an image is out there and you can download it, you can see it on the internet, it's fair use, it's fair game. So you can use it in your video or whatever, as long as you don't claim like ownership of it or anything like that.
It's very vague when it comes to fair use, and it's kind of intentionally that way.
Yeah.
Because what does transformative mean? It means something different to every person. So it's tough. I think that I was fully within the law to share it. I think I was fully within the law to share it.
Friends, how are we? How are we? Mara looking good.
You cut out.
Gorgeous as ever. Stig, you are fucking amazing. Ryan, how are you, Ryan? How's everybody in the chat? How are we? Fuck Neil Cuckman. Fuck Naughty Dog. I
You
woke
missed
up
it.
to a text message from my cousin who was a diehard Last of Us guy, and his message, and I will read this message that I woke up to. These are some powerful words from a passionate man. His words say, the director of The Last of Us 2 has just pulled the Star Wars stunt and called everyone who no longer wants the game a racist, homophobic. I definitely won't be getting this now. When will these fuckers learn? And that is the question we have been asking for quite some time, my friends. When will these fuckers learn? At least, when will the strikes stop? When? But how are we all? Fuck Neil Cuckman and fuck Naughty Dog. It's man with a golf club.
Hey, I think that you may have missed something while you were sleeping, Lethal. I got a second strike on my channel.
You got a second strike. Yes, I did miss this. What?
I now have 2 copyright strikes.
Why? What happened? What did you do?
It was a video that was even before. It was the one I initially first put up. So now they've got 2 on my channel. So I got 2 copyright strikes. It happened while I was live. Bitching about the strike.
So the older video got strike. Oh, I'm gonna check if I'm gonna check if I've had a second strike then as well.
Yeah, because I was watching Ryan's live stream and you were like, "Oh shit!" and brought up the screen and second strike on a video.
Yep.
Which means, like you said, they would have had to manually go in.
Yeah, all of them are manual. It tells you exactly what they are. So usually, if you get a copyright claim, which happens all the time for trailers or footage or whatever, it will tell you, it's like, hey, it was detected by this, and it's between 44 seconds and 1 minute and 10 seconds. That's where the copyrighted stuff fell. This one is manual. They don't give you a time. They don't give you anything. They don't tell you where it is. All they tell you is that it was a manual claim.
I don't have a second strike. So this is some straight up bullshit, my friends. I woke up this morning and I figured, you know what, maybe we'll have a nice peaceful day. We'll be talking to my girl Kiara about how she roasted Neil Cuckman, called him a cuck while she's out there doing a sex scene because she's a porn star. And now I wake up to find out that the jihad is stronger than ever. Fuck Naughty Dog and fuck Neil Cuckman. It's ma'am with a golf club. Ryan, does this mean you can't stream?
You can tell an Aussie is on the panel, the language.
Sister Harrow, you beautiful, beautiful soul who is dictating who will be on the thumbnail of the next full Aussie. But Ryan, does this mean you can't stream anymore on YouTube?
I can still stream because it didn't happen, or it wasn't on a stream. If they copyright strike a live stream, that's when you cannot stream. It's just 2 videos. I had to go to copyright school again for the second time in 2 days. I have disputed both of them. So I filed a counterclaim. It's up to them. I have 10 days, or they have 10 days to show that they're going to file paperwork to proceed in a federal U.S. court. So
we're taking this bitch to court.
Part of me,
it's there. Thumbs up to them.
I think they will, because that will. I mean, if they do honestly do that, it would shock me. But I don't think they will, because it would bring more attention to what they're doing. And I think this is more of like just an harassment campaign and like an annoyance at this point. It's basically just to kind of initially silencing people who are criticizing it, and they figure people like wait the 10 days out and move on, kind of a situation.
Maybe it's kind of
no, that's not what we're gonna do.
I'm saying we won't stop. We won't stop or anything like that. But I'm saying, like, if they were to bring this like to a lawsuit, now they would further bring negative publicity back onto themselves, because now you have all these other YouTubers who are seeing this and reporting on it and things like that. And we're not going to slow down on our criticism of The Last of Us Part 2. So I think it's just an harassment campaign that they're going to keep doing against YouTubers until The Last of Us Part 2 is released.
And sister.
June 19th release date.
Oh, it will be a day of reckoning, my friends. Don't you worry about that. The fire rises.
I just like picture you like Lord Humongous from Mad Max, the way there you go. There, that's more appropriate.
Once again, you disappoint me, Naughty Dog. Just walk away. I have offered you safe passage, and you strike Ryan again.
Yeah.
Just walk away.
This as well. I don't know if they've talked about this at all.
I would be shocked if Nick Rekieta doesn't talk about this at some point in the next day or two, just because so many people, it's so big now. Whether I'll get brought up, I don't know. But
I hope you're starving, Naughty Dog, because I'm gonna fill your belly with lead.
I fill you with some cock, mate.
Lethal, you want to play Warzone tonight on Twitch?
Of course, I haven't tried the new update. I'd like to see what's in it.
All right. My plan is to go live in about an hour or so. I don't know if that works for you. But
I'll make it work. That's what I do. I make it work for my peoples. It's all about the peoples. That's something Naughty Dog doesn't seem to understand. It's about the people. Just pull this
The Last
nonsense.
of Us 1, but I really don't want to give them my money. I agree. But I pointed out at the beginning of the stream, before this all happened, earlier, before GameStop closed and things like that, I bought a copy of Last of Us, which I have not played yet. But at the same time, it's like part of me will eventually get around to playing this game. But at the same time, knowing the leaks and everything that happens, I'm like, I can't get attached to these characters because I know what's going to happen to them in the second game. And that is basically saying, screw you and your love for these characters. Now you have to love Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's right.
And you will love her. And if you don't love her, you're sexist.
That's right. That's right. Abby Smash.
That's what she looks like. I looked up pictures for this character, and I was like that Lorax cartoon where the one character's like, that's a woman. I was like, really? This is supposed to be okay. Yes, Linda Hamilton looked buff in Terminator 2, but she did it because she was working out because of the whole apocalypse happening and having to save humanity and things like that. This woman is just pumped full of hormones.
I saw a picture of Linda Hamilton from Terminator 2 the other day, and I was like, why the fuck is Mara hanging? Oh, wait, that's Linda Hamilton.
So,
but keep in mind, all right, have you seen that one that's going around? Like, I'm telling you, man, like, I've always been into like Japanese stuff, like anime and shit like that. You know, I'm a diehard Kingdom Hearts fan, but I think fucking Japanese is just going to completely eclipse the Western entertainment. You know, like mangas are just killing off comics. You know, because they're fucking better. And you've seen that meme that's going around. It's like, okay, so this is an American woman, and it's Abby Smash. And this is a Japanese woman, and it's a picture of Tifa. And people are going, well, yeah, Tifa has some fucking howitzers on her chest, but she actually looks like a fucking woman.
Yeah, like this comment from Will Gentry. Like, well, Linda Hamilton looked buff, but she still looked feminine. So yes, I agree. Like, she was buff because she worked out because of the mentality she has of stopping Skynet and everything like that. But she still was at her core feminine. She was still a woman.
What is Skynet gonna do against Jean-Claude Van Damme for golf club? We're gonna golf club that computer screen in, motherfucker. Yeah. You thought Kylo Ren had a moment. We're gonna take this golf club and we're gonna Abby Smash Skynet to the ground.
But this character looks like you just pumped a woman full of steroids and told us that we have to think she's beautiful because if we don't, then there's something wrong with her.
She is stunning and brave with a golf club.
She's going to stun you and she hits you with a 5-iron.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Steroids anyway.
Sorry, Stig?
Where the hell do they get steroids anyway?
Well, apparently, I'm going to kind of
homophobic Christian cult.
Well, no. According to what I read, this is kind of touching on the leaks, but apparently she's the daughter of, I guess, the surgeon or whatever, like one of the guys that Joel kills.
Yeah.
Really early in the game. Early in the game.
So it's got absolutely nothing to do with nothing. It's not a plot point. It's just hey. Imagine if Luke Skywalker got killed by that fucking Jawa that touched his land speeder in episode 4. That's how Return of the Jedi ends. Like Jawa just walks up and fucking shanks him in the kidneys. Goes, Otini!
That's how Empire ends. Darth Vader's like, I am your father. Luke falls down the thing, gets saved, but there's a Jawa just hanging out in the Millennium Falcon that kills him.
Yeah,
Star Wars needs a Jawa serial killer. Seriously.
And then,
yeah, man.
And then Return of the Jedi is actually Return of the Jawa, and the next part of it is all about the Jawa.
Return of the Jawa. I want a 6-series prequel series about how he made the shank that he put in Luke Skywalker's kidney. Yeah. You know, Luke Skywalker, that Jawa had Luke Skywalker on the ground screaming for Utini. Where my Utini at, Luke, you bitch, Abby Smash.
And this
Jaw the Ripper.
comment by Neff Champion, like, why can't our badass characters who just happen to be female, there's no emphasis on their biological sex, be attractive? Because women like to look at attractive women too. And that's like what I said. Basically, it's like there still has to be a level of appeal to the characters. It doesn't matter if it's a male, it doesn't matter if it's a female. You have to appeal physically, the physical characteristics of the character appeal to the people who are playing the game. And then, like Steve pointed out earlier, you don't pay attention at all to what they look like later on. At least most people don't, because at that time you are focused on the gameplay. You're focused on the tasks you're sorry, take the coffee away from me.
Well, it's kind of hard to focus on anything Mara says when she's there looking this stunning.
Oh, thank you.
Mara, I actually do have to get going. I have to take care of a couple things for I'm supposed to stream tonight and everything. But thanks for letting me come on and hang out and bitch about Naughty Dog for a little while. Stieg, always a pleasure seeing you. And Tifa Lightning, Abby Smash. I'll see you in a little bit.
Yeah. Just send me the just give me like a 30-minute heads up when you want to go.
All right, sounds good.
We'll be wrapping up in about a little bit or so I won't be going on for much longer.
No
Have a
worries.
splendid evening, yeah, Ryan.
All right, you guys too. Talk to you later.
Yeah.
Bye, chat.
Some straight up fucking bullshit, man. They keep striking my boy. They keep striking all of us. We ain't gonna stop. Fuck you, Naughty Dog, man. You know what? I'm coming up on in about, I don't know, 5-6 months. It'll be 3 years since I've been on YouTube, and I am prepared to fucking run this channel into the ground if it means I get to go up against Naughty Dog. Fuck you, Naughty Dog, man. This is some straight up bullshit. At least fuckers trying to start a second Gamergate movement or something like that. Because this is how you start it, man. This is it. This is how you do it. This is how you throw petrol on the fire. You know, you want this to fucking burn.
You brought in Anita Sarkeesian.
Oh God.
The bane of the gaming industry. I don't know why she still is being given any credibility whatsoever, but she was his muse for the creation of these characters.
Well, that's just retarded, isn't it?
And
So
I shared an image. I don't know if you saw the part of the live stream, but I shared an image that someone shared with me on Twitter, which shows kind of like a little bit of a timeline of events. How Hennig was pushed out because, according to this, Neil Cuckman didn't like her.
Of course he didn't.
She defended the industry against the claims that they were sexist.
Mm-hmm.
So she was pushed out. Was responsible for the Uncharted 1 through 3 games being as popular as they were, as well as the which was in not development, but she was going to do a Star Wars game.
Yeah, Ragtag.
Uncharted games, so an Uncharted style Star Wars game. She was pushed out for a man to take over, and now that man is single-handedly driving the company into the ground. Which is
with that Star Wars one, that's more of a EA being EA type thing. I don't think there was like any agenda or anything behind that. I think that's just them being fucking
that game. And then she was pushed out.
Yeah, it's because EA are idiots because they were saying that whole single player thing isn't popular anymore. That was just an EA thing, you know, as opposed to Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog's is just fucking nonsense, man. You know, this is some straight up bullshit.
Well, because like they're not basically, but they are abusing copyright laws. Now I don't know all the ins and outs of fair use and things like that, but I'd have to talk to my mom about that because she's an attorney, so she would know at least somewhat about it. But apparently, like, you know, from what I gathered, dealing with situations like this with fair use and images, that if it's out there, if it's made public, it's fair to use, as long as you don't claim it as your own, as long as you give credit to the person who originally created the image or the company who originally created the image and so forth. As long as you don't claim it, it's fair game. So you can show images that are out there already on the internet, and there should be no problem. But now they're abusing the copyright strike abilities on these channels because they want to silence the people criticizing them. And in reality, which is the irony, they are further damaging their public image because people are seeing this going, wait a minute, you're silencing free speech.
Yeah, well, see, that's kind of where this is all starting to blow up, you know? Like, I think everyone will agree that if they just left it be. If they just left it be, it would have just been people looked at the leaks. They would have said, "Man, this sucks," blah blah blah. This game sounds terrible. Blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
That would have been that. That would have been that. But now they've just really, really want to start ramping it up. It's like, Naughty Dog, man, do you really want to go down this road?
A sane company would not have started it to begin with. But now I'm thinking, like, quit while you're behind right now, please, dear God, because now, like, you're giving these YouTubers and other people so much ammunition to use against you right now.
Yep,
Wherein all they have to do, as you said, either not say anything, let the people decide for themselves if they want to get the game or not, or simply say that these leaked images and gameplay are not the entire game. Do not judge it based on these leaked images. Please
Damage control.
give it a chance for a situation, damage control. But they decided to go on the offensive.
Well, they started with what you said. They put out that bullshit, represent the real thing type crap. But we all know. I think like the amount that leaked, there's no way around it. And the fact that it's proven, you could see the developer code in it and stuff like that. And just the fact that it looked really authentic as well. And then, when they put out that statement saying, we're heartbroken by the leaks, blah, 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 blah. That was where you had to leave it. But now it looks like we might be going down a dark path, And who would have thought that it would have been from Naughty Dog?
Yeah,
of all places, man.
Mm-hmm.
When they keep attacking criticism like this and silencing it, they risk losing people who are on the fence about it too.
That's right. Jackie's narrow ass can't cash. Sorry, Stig.
No, I just said that they risk losing people that are on the fence as well with this.
They are. That's probably where most of their look. You're gonna have your diehards that are committed no matter what, and more power to you. If you're someone that wants to buy the game, whatever, it's your money. You get to choose how you spend it. No one can hold that against you. No one should hold that against you. Your money, obviously keep in mind where your money's going. But the people on the fence, that's probably where a good portion of the people are. They're probably sitting there being like, "Oh, I don't know about this one, man." And then they just go, "Wait, are you calling people fucking homophobics?" Nah, fuck you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's like kind of like what I pointed out with Disney's and Lucasfilm's handling of the fans after The Last Jedi, where a lot of people, I imagine, would have been on the fence, where it's like, this middle movie really sucked. I didn't like it, but I might have been willing to give the third movie a chance to see if maybe they've fixed it or whatever, like however you want to describe it. See if maybe maybe they might end on a decent note kind of situation where it's like, the middle movie stinks, but the first and the third movie are decent. Yeah. Then, what Naughty Dog is doing is they're attacking the people who are criticizing it. And those people that were on the fence that might have seen the film decided, you know what? I'm not going to spend money on this film because I don't want to be attacked for my opinion. I don't want to be told that I'm racist, sexist, or misogynistic whatsoever because I just said I don't like this movie. And that's what's happening with Naughty Dog. And how they do not learn from the companies that's just failed in the past. It's like insanity. They want to repeat the same thing and expect different results.
Oh, sorry. I'm just looking at give me a second here. Sorry.
It looks like panic. It looks like complete panic.
Yeah, and Nef Champion is like, it's just like with TLJ. If they had just not started harassing us, we'd have gone, "Oh dear Lord, this looks horrible," and that would have been the end of it. It pretty much would have been the end of it. And the people on the fence might have seen the film, might not have seen the film, but they would not have alienated those people on the fence to the point where they had to claw their way to $1 billion. So basically, progressively, from Force Awakens down, excluding the standalone films, lost money. Went from $2.2 billion to $1.3 billion down to barely inching over $1 billion. Star Wars films should not have been losing money.
No, they should have been closer to $2 billion if they'd done it right.
I just watched a decent quality version of the death scene.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking hell, man. That's not how you kill a character. That's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, and again, like I said, it's I bought the first game. I might still play it. I bought it used a while back before all the businesses had to shut down because of the beer bug. But at the same time, I'm looking at this game going, well, if I play it, I'm knowing that these two characters that I'm supposed to grow attached to, that I'm supposed to love, and I'm supposed to grow with, in a sense, I can't get too attached to them because I know what's going to happen. And it's their way of saying, we're creating this new character. Screw the beloved characters that you've grown to love, like what Lucasfilm did with the original cast, and forcing us to like the new characters because of reasons. And when we say we don't like this character, we don't like how you're treating the original creations that were brought into fandoms, like with the first game. Now all of a sudden we're racist, we're sexist, we're homophobic, we're misogynistic, we're pick-a-phobia that they like to attach to different words, and now they're seeing what Disney saw. But people saying, you know what, I'm not going to buy your game. You don't like my quote-unquote racist, sexist attitude, while you won't like my racist, sexist money.
Yeah, well, I saw someone in the chat. I was just breezing over the chat, and someone was saying, sorry, I've lost it. I would say your name. TJ Swan, there he is. So they don't care. It's not even about profit anymore. It's about changing society. They're willing to take the L. So yeah, exactly. That's spot on. Like, you see it all the time. Like, you're sitting down, you're watching it, and you're like, you guys are losing money doing this, and you're still going forward with it. It's like, man, how sustainable is this? This is dumb. This is really, really dumb. But look, here's my stance on this whole thing. Fuck Naughty Dog. And why I'm saying that is because of their attitude and what they're doing at the moment. As opposed to what's in the game, I think what's in the game is just dumb, stupid, lazy writing, and kind of disrespectful to your OG and core fan base. I'm not one of those people. But
it's not like you have to have these characters necessarily go from through all games, because there's going to come a point when these characters are going to, in a way, meet an end. But at the same time, make it so it's it flows with the story, where it's it's a fitting ending. It's something that where it's not out of the blue, and only because you have to like the new character that they're inserting.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Hey, it's all about pushing forward this shit new Abby smash. But I think inherently, I might be way wrong with this, but I think inherently people kind of, appreciate a good death scene. Look at Tony Montana's death scene, Sonny Corleone's death scene. There's something about a heroic sacrifice. I'm not saying those guys did heroic sacrifices, but in a video game, for example, if Joel was to be killed off and it was in a heroic way, which guaranteed Ellie's safety, people would probably like that. In all honesty,
if it's basically flows with the story, if it's a fitting end, if it respects the character, because you could not knowing the gameplay of the first game, I could basically assume that he would die, making sure she lived, because he cared for her like a father figure. So if he died that way, even at the hands of Abby, died to protect Ellie, it would be in character.
John Connor all over again.
Yes, 100%. I don't know if you guys saw the stream, but I had an image that was on Reddit where they're showing you the exact cycle of how they pull this shit. And that's a part of it.
Yeah, I saw that image.
I have a bit of news though.
What's that?
Bounding into Comics just put out I guess an article. It says The Last of Us 2 employees could lose their jobs if they voiced concerns on the story.
I believe it.
So there's even censorship within the production, I guess. Comply or get fired. Yeah,
that's true. I did see this. I talked about it a little bit on my live stream, but that is true. That is true. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of it was to do with pay disputes that was going on, and they kind of made a bit of a threat to people that were talking shit.
Yeah,
lose your job, boy.
And also, according to the was it Reddit or something post that you also showed that part of the pay dispute was them simply asking for an advance on their bonus because this businesses are shutting down and everything like that, and they need to take care of their families, taking like basically weather the beer bug situation, and they were denied it, while the higher ups, including Neil Cuckman, got theirs. So
Yeah.
like don't
Not
be
exactly
heartbroken
fair,
about
though, is it?
yeah, like don't say you're heartbroken about the links or anything like that when like you yourself maybe could have avoided the situation if you just said, you know what, you're not going to get the full bonus, but here's a little something to kind of help you weather it out. Like we're asking a lot of you because of this crunch time. We want to get this game out, and so here's a little bit to help you sort of like, you know, weather the beer bug, pad your account so you're not hurting.
Yeah. Hey,
Maybe,
I
just
do have to jump off. But I want to come on and talk some shit about Naughty Dog. I fucking hate Naughty Dog. Mara, are you getting close to monetization yet, or what?
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to look at the number of hours again, but I can share with you maybe the image on DMs, but my last video blew up.
Awesome.
While I have you on real fast, let me see what the views are for the latest video. Where it's like not exactly the number of views like necessarily that the video.
The back end's always different to the front end.
Basically 1,853 minutes of watch time. So
yeah, excellent. That's really good. That's really, really, really good. Cool. But everyone in the chat, you know, get this bitch monetized, man. Just get a tab open with her live stream playlist. Let it play. You know, she must be getting close to monetization. You know, once we get her to the hours, yeah, we mission accomplished. So everyone in the chat, who we got? I see Larry. I see 16-bit mascot, Mega Jetty, TJ Swan, Neff, Bruce, Trey, Apollo, Runner, Culture Casino, Michael, Lyndon Howe, Orange Hat Reviews, you know, anyone, Larry, anyone that I've missed, you're all fucking amazing. Thank you so much for listening to us talk some shit. Stig, you keep doing your thing. Mara, you keep grinding. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, take care of yourself, and I'll see you all later. Abby, smash!
Riley thought. So, yeah, I think we're going to start winding this down because I only anticipated going for about an hour and it's going on an hour and a half. But there was something that I was going to say, but lost my train of thought with the. What I was going to say is, I appreciate everyone giving my videos views and helping me make my way to monetization. And the joke was, which is kind of half in seriousness, that once I get monetized, then I'm going to get a new tattoo. Not getting the face tattoo, not getting damage tattoo across my forehead, which is what started this whole get me monetized movement.
Damage on your forehead?
Yeah, that was the Lethal started it. Conveniently, he jumped out of the stream before, but he started it saying that, you know, I get monetized, I will get that tattooed across my forehead. So
I stand with Lethal on this.
No. I'm going to be a teacher. I can't do that. And I would get a butt tattoo before I got a face tattoo. Just saying.
You can get both.
No, I can't. I'm going to be a teacher. I can't go in with damage on my forehead. My bangs aren't long enough.
Put on a headband.
No, I'm not going to put on a headband. They don't stay in place anyway. But the point is, what it's going to make is that the sooner I get to monetization, there is something legitimate that I'm going to use the money towards. I'm not saying you have to do this so I get monetized sooner, and that is part of my TJ Swan, I already have a tramp stamp. I already have a lower back tattoo already. So there's one already there. Part of my master's program is student teaching, studying abroad. And part of what I would use the money towards is the $1,150 I would have to come up with towards that program. So basically, I had to pay towards the university, towards another university that's partnering with it, nearly $1,200. So I'm not saying you have to do this to help me out. I'm just saying that I would use part of the money towards that if I get monetized before the end of August. Just saying. And what is it, TJ Swan? It is the Turkish word for my love tattooed on the lower back.
So you love ass?
What?
You love ass?
It's not. No, It's on my lower back. It's not on my ass.
Oh.
So I'm part Turkish, so I got the word for my love tattooed on my lower back. That's where a tramp stamp is on your lower back. So I already have one, and I already have another tattoo, which I can't show you without flashing because it's on my chest area. But yeah, so the whole premise behind this was that I would get another tattoo once I got monetized. But again, like what I was saying, it's like there's also another reason I would use it, and that is towards the payment for the student teaching studying abroad. So if you're willing to help, great. If not, I'm not saying this to pressure anyone into putting my videos on loop or anything like that. That's just what I would do if ever I get monetized before the end of August, is that's when the money is due. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Yes, butt stuff, culture casino. But at any rate, Steeg, sorry. I'll let everybody know where they can find you and what you're all about and everything like that.
Oh, I'm just a panelist, really. Tend to be on every channel mostly, I guess, now and again.
Mm-hmm.
Not a YouTuber. I have been thinking about doing my own live streams though with guests.
Culture casino.
Well, I'm on Twitter and do have a tiny YouTube channel with a bunch of nonsense on it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to sub to someone, go sub to Miss Sarcastic Nerd or Sporking News Podcast or This Night or something, because they actually care about you too.
I do have ideas for tattoos, so I'm not saying what I would choose, just that it's not going to be a face tattoo, and I don't care if you stand with lethal on that. Nope. No, I'm gonna put my strong woman foot down on that. So Culture Casino likes your channel. Thank you, Culture Casino, and I thank you. You're one of the ones who does help me in a way towards monetization by putting my videos on loop, and I very much appreciate that. I'm not saying I expect anyone to do that. I'm just saying that if I got there sooner, this is what I would use the money towards. That's all I'm saying. But at any rate, you can find me. Obviously, you found my channel, so I don't have to go into that. It's Jade Shadow. We're there. You can also find me on Twitter, again, under OG Mara Jade. I'm going to try stay on top of this, and maybe we'll most likely be talking about this again if Naughty Dog does anything stupid between now and Saturday when I do the weekly live stream I normally do with Lethal Lightning, called The Nerdy and the Lethal, also on my channel. If they don't do anything, we'll probably talk about the whole keyboard warriors claiming orcs are racist by claiming that they represent minorities or there's dog whistle racist language in them, when in reality that orcs aren't racist, and the fact that they are thinking of minorities when they think of orcs makes them the racist. But until then, thank you for showing up. Thank you for listening to us rant about the stupidity of Naughty Dog. All that stupidity, and I guarantee that they'll do something else in the meantime. I very much guarantee it. They're gonna shoot themselves on the foot between now and June 19th when the game is released, because that's the new release date. It was supposed to be May 29th, but now it's been pushed to June 19th. So we'll see how that goes. But at any rate, yes, Larry, orcs are just orcs. Yes, and I have a book real fast. I was going to show this because I showed a couple books on my Tolkien video. Magical World of Lord of the Rings, and it goes into the origin of orcs in this book. Not racist whatsoever, because it actually goes that the name itself is from Roman mythology.
Yeah, Orcus.
Yes. So, but at any rate, might talk about this weekend. Definitely talk about the Naughty Dog shit, especially if they do something stupid. So thank you all for showing up. Thank you for everyone who puts my videos on loop. Thank you all for helping me towards monetization, because I love living rent-free in these idiots' heads. It just makes my day. So until my next video and live stream, bye everybody. Thank you. Good night.
Have a good night.